Ben Mirov is the author of Hide and Roser, coming out this summer from Octopus Books. He was also the author of Ghost Machine, an incredible collection. Actually, I bought multiple copies when I was teaching creative writing to pass out to students, and it was an inspiration for them. From Cake Train, that was 2010, and the chapbooks Vortex from Super Machine 2011, Eyes to Vorticism, New Michigan Press 2010, and Collected Ghost from Hangman 2010. Yeah, it makes us all seal bet, doesn't it? He's a guest poetry editor of the Daily Pen American, and also has a poetry shop with us, YesYes Books, titled My Hologram Chamber. It's surrounded by miles of snow, which has been paired with images by Eric Ormond. Ben Mirov.
I've been planning to read poems here for a while, so I'm glad you guys are here. A kiss on the purplish light. I wanted to impress her with my kissing ability, and so placed my hand on her cheek. It scared me, but I touched it gently. My eyes were shut. My mind began to wander. I thought of a deer, spooked by his shadow on the rime. I thought about Papa, who died half naked, with a mouthful of mushroom soup. I thought of the universe expanding in its bowl, and of the breaking of the bowl, and the spilling of its contents onto what? I thought of the word isotope. Isotope, I thought to myself, although I may have spoken it aloud. Years passed between the end of this kiss and the beginning of the next. Several things occurred that demanded my immediate attention. I found a bouquet of wilted flowers. I spilt my mug of strong black tea. I like to read behind podiums because they hide your body. I read this poem too. Cluster. It would be foolish to assume that anything is composed of tiny dots, that dots make up the universe, that the universe is a kind of dot. It would be disastrous to assume these dots cohere by way of an invisible force, which extends from nowhere into everything everywhere. When someone dies, their soul looks just like them and floats above their gurney. If they were 30 years younger, they would tear the clothes off a nurse. It's been this way in every war ever fought. Souls hovering over the battlefield, nurses completely dressed. It's impossible for a cube of light to exist. Impossible for you to carry that cube of light across a vast plain of darkness, through a forest of pine trees, a house in the woods. It's impossible to enter the house and hand the cube of light to William Butler Yeats. Time flows up and down and around the tiny dots. Birds fly out of the trees. I don't care for perfectly clear weather. I keep myself busy all day. This next poem was published in a little grade magazine called La Petite Zine, and it was published with a typo. And after it was published, my friend Dan emailed me and said, "Did you mean to have the typo in there?" And I didn't mean to have the typo in there, but it's better with the typo, so I read it with the typo. In the orchard with the wrench. When I think of old age and losing my mind, I am not really afraid of using commas. I apply them liberally, like some kind of wackadoo, to prove how terrible happiness is. It's a true story. Automatic teller machine. If you work at a steady rate, you may reach the river by nightfall. And if you have the will, a canoe will be waiting by the ash factory for you to take upstream to the takoyaki shack, where you can eat delicious food and drink as much beer as you like until late into the night. In other words, you have your whole life ahead of you, and no one can tell you what to do, or how to act, or what to say, or anything, said the machine in the wall before dispensing my receipt in a tiny wadded ball. My hologram chamber is surrounded by miles of snow. I began reading on page 6 because fuck it, nothing matters. On page 6, a man rode his sled across a vast wasteland towards a powerful dark force in a fortress made of ice. I skipped ahead to page 324 because death is always close at hand, and the dark force was being strangled by the man who had gained some kind of superior strength via a pair of emerald underwear. As the light behind the dark force's eyes began to sputter, I closed the book because all endings are essentially the same. All endings are essentially the same, I said to myself, wiping my tears from my eyes, and a long black silence ensued, from which I did not emerge until years later when I awoke to take another sip of wine. You may experience seepage. Emerging from a goat farm, trudging through rainforest, burrito-sized leeches, skirmish with border guards, permanent exile, writing your memoirs, high school diploma, learning to drive, first date with Susan, marriage in Vegas, house in the burbs, not having children, handfuls of sleep dust, obsession with plankton, leaving Susan, dancing all night, flying through Proust, hating your boss, blacking out, clocking in, choking up, hitting the bottle, burning your novel, eating more seafood, taking up tennis, planting carrots, botching haiku, selling your screenplay, accepting the Oscar, meeting Betty, buying a beach house, burying Betty, hundreds of sunsets, watching the waves, forgetting your birthday, remembering your name, wearing diapers, final goodbyes, tears in an ocean, closing your eyes. Thanks so much.